Let's do it.
Simple as that. Okay, so JAE CHOE Show, episode 78. I'm here with Jenn SMURR of Born and Bread. Welcome. How are you?
Man,
Yeah.
it's a crazy time to live in.
It's the craziest time to live in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard because that's always anything in your life feels relevant to your life. And then maybe someone in the 18th century would have said, no, I for sure out crazied you're crazy. But for me, personally, this is the craziest time I feel I've ever witnessed when I've talked to someone who is much older than me. If it's a mentor, like one of my favorite uncles, he's never lived through anything similar.
Right.
So it's difficult because I think everyone wants some sense of advice or a piece of like comfort. They want an understanding that none of us can provide yet.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like that. For once, no one holds what is seemingly this golden answer.
Right.
But it is very challenging from a business owner standpoint. And personally, I feel like I've really struggled with trying to make myself not go down this rabbit hole of depressed thoughts or feelings. And I'm a very positive person, and I love being around people, but with everything going on, either someone's making it difficult to be around them because they feel so strongly about something, or it's just unsafe because I'm still going through this uncertain time with COVID.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I think the majority of people will feel very akin to that. The crazy that is 2020 is not ending. And I have a part of me feels like that we are indeed Neo in the Matrix, and at any time now, someone's going to pull the plug, or an alien mothership is going to land on the White House front lawn, or, I'm going to wake up in a pool of plasma or something, in a machine world. Any of those things are possible in my mind. And and really, they're all good things. I take this right now, as tough as it is for a lot of us, I consider it in a weird way a blessing, because it builds resilience and it gives us a reality chin check. Life is checking you right now. See what sort of resilience you have, what sort of friendships you have, what sort of relationships you have with people that you consider dear and close. It puts a nice unveiling on all of it, and I love it. And if it weren't for this, there would be certain revelations that I would have never gleaned. And for it, I'm ever thankful.
I wonder if it makes someone like you, and hopefully I view myself in a similar way, capable of gaining strength during this time and wanting to keep mustering through everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in life, whether it be something that is this seemingly large, or in other areas when someone's just battling a friendship that isn't working out, or trying to figure out what they want out of life, and being a passion pursuer versus something that's more stable, and understanding who you are as a person and what you need. Sometimes whenever you're hit with either the loss of a parent, or like I said, the understanding that maybe your relationship wasn't going to be what you thought it was going to be, see someone either rise and strengthen from that moment, or you see them they crumble. And so I wonder what it is maybe that you could say you've practiced during this time that allows you to want to keep fighting through versus I just give up on it all. Because I know I don't know. There's got to be something.
I am of the opinion that you don't stop. No matter how bad it gets, you just don't stop. And there's going to be those days where you feel like this is just, why are we doing this? This is insurmountable, or I'm too depressed, or you may feel that way. And I feel that way as well at times, but I just keep going, get on the path, put one foot in front of you, as agonizing as it may feel, go through the motions that you would if you were in times that were, better off, right? I mean, almost like, you act as if, right? Act as if it's going to be okay. Even though in your mind at the time, it doesn't feel okay. Like, this is not going to work out. My wife, there was some moments during all this where she's like, you just got to stay positive. You just got to stay positive. What more are you going to do? And that's correct. What are you going to do? You can sink into the depths. You can sink into the abyss of your negativity, and everyone's got that, right? But that's a choice that we make. That's a choice that we make. I firmly believe that. Well, okay, let me back that up. A choice that most of us make. Some of us can't make that choice because of, for whatever chemical reason that we may have going on in our brain. But for a lot of us, for me, it's a choice. It's a choice. I mean, I could have just very well said, you know what? Karate studio's over. We're finished. We're going to have to do a brand new thing. This is not going to work out. 3 months? 3 months of no karate classes? 3 months of no students? What? No. I that was not a single thought that ever ventured into my brain. As soon as they announced that they were closing down schools, I was like, all right, fine. Everyone's got a laptop. Everyone's got an iPhone. Let's go. Let's go. We'll make this happen. Let's do it. And we did. And I'm forever blessed that parents and family and students were all on board for that. But and you guys too. You guys kept rocking it, right? You guys kept rocking it with Warm Bread, right?
Sure. It's difficult because I think towards the beginning I would go home and just say like, to my husband, we just completely got our asses handed to us. He said, that's not the way to look at it.
Yeah.
So, to finish the thoughts on the last thing that we talked about is like, how do you find a way to move forward, or how is it that we both find ways to move forward during this time? We were talking as a group earlier with management, and somehow some personal things came up in life. And one of the girls is going through a difficult time, and it quickly made me realize that the focus that she had was a lot about what was going on around her and the boundaries that she was capable of setting in her life. With those people that you love most sometimes, it's still important to set up a boundary and say, I genuinely need someone positive around me. I genuinely need someone who's going to lift me up during this time and like make it through. And I would say that is the only way that we started COVID as a business, completely turned upside down this entire business, created another, it's completely different. Going from a long line of people in a very efficient system with the way that we check in and check out, to now we cannot have that at all. And we have to pre-bag and take pre-orders, which how in the world can we do that? But with some YouTube and some really incredible leaders and a chance for them to step up at Born and Bred and positivity in the face of it all. I mean, it's been a very difficult 3 months. But one that I also appreciated the challenges, because now we're in a place now that we didn't think was possible in the concept, and we could in fact take pre-orders, and it allows us to grow in other ways.
Right.
So I love a challenge, and so I think as soon as that happened, it was easier to say accepted.
Okay. That's fantastic. So what was the pivot and persevere moment for you, where you saw a little bit of a glimmer, a little bit of a silver lining, as to say, you know what, this can actually work? What are a thing or a few things that you can name?
A huge part was having to think about furloughing employees. I have a very hopefully healthy relationship with my employees, but also I just care about them. I'm not a mother yet, and I feel like I am a mother in so many ways to them. So when we had to furlough 9 of our employees at the beginning, it was a very heavy for me moment, more than like the management or the team would have to feel. And so taking that, not being open on a Wednesday night and kind of restructuring a Saturday, I think our pivot there was making those hard choices at the beginning to close so we could fully focus on something that was most important. And then opening up on a Saturday think what we realized is more people wanted us to have pre-sales.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to get in it, and at this point, hopefully I would say that we've pretty much mastered it. We do more on a current Saturday than we previously would have done on a Saturday. Not enough to make up for, not enough to make up for being closed Wednesday and Saturday in
Right.
sale. But we learned
let me interject. For those listeners that don't know, and whoever you are, how dare you?
come on.
Jenn has a place called Born and Bread Bakery. Started off in downtown in a little stand and grew to a spot in Dixieland where on a Saturday morning when you show up, there is a line that goes around the block, literally around the block, waiting for her baked goods. And you expanded to having a Wednesday opening as well. So having said that, the best pastries in Lakeland come from Jenn. So anyway, now we're in COVID. Please continue. All right, go ahead.
Sure. So basically, we celebrated our 5-year anniversary on March 15th, which was the very first week of this like hysteria. What is going to happen? Is this as big as we think it is? Are we about to close down? There was, I think with everyone, there were just so many unknowns. Is this real? Yeah. And so on the 15th, we had our 5-year. The turnout was normal as far as sales go, but just the energy of that day and having people come in and then basically pick up something and leave and not stay to like celebrate. And we had a band, and it was just such a strange time to feel celebratory and to feel the weight or like this sense of like this push of something big is about to change. And I don't know how it's going to change, and I have to focus only on getting through 5 years. So fast forward, the very next weekend, we thought we can't open up. They're starting to make restrictions. People aren't feeling safe. So we didn't open up on that Saturday as regular. We decided to open up in the back, which I don't think you could possibly know what you needed to know until you did it. And you just, sometimes you just have to dive in. And so diving in, I remember certain team members that have been with us for almost 2 years saying, I've been through some crazy bakes with Born and Bread. I've been through holidays. I've been through everything, and I've never been through something as hard as this. This was the worst day in Born and Bread history. And so you have to take a management team, you have to put them together in a way that they feel like they have a voice and ideas so that you're not completely alone and like steering the ship. But we did, and not that it happened overnight. I mean, to this day, we're still learning and we're still failing. And I think that at this point, what I considered the bull ride that we were on for a while, I think that bull is finally starting to tire out a little bit. But only for us to have probably another idea or another season of trying to recover from COVID. Like we're getting into some really nice rhythms right now that feel safe, but it's not sustainable the way that it is. And so we have a lot of work ahead, but we took one day at a time with the team. And I do feel confident that we're doing our best at the moment. So grateful to be a part of a community like Lakeland that leaves us notes on their pre-order and has equally encouraged us to keep going on days where, I mean, I've never fully been a cigarette addict, but I would love to go smoke like an entire pack of cigarettes and say at 33 or 32, I'm fucking going all in. But
excellent.
It's been an interesting time for sure. Good.
These are all good things. You guys are going to come out a lot stronger than you were. And I this is just an opinion, of course, but I feel as if we are going to see a resurgence again. And in a bigger way than we felt prior to COVID. Because prior to COVID, hey, things were just rocking and rolling. It was in my eyes, it seemed relatively, it was just flowing. But that came to a screeching halt, of course. But now that I don't think people are as scared anymore about COVID. I mean, I see it with my contingent. I see people coming in now. I see people going out to shops and restaurants, and even this past weekend, we went to the mall, and half the people were wearing masks and everything. What's that? Go ahead.
Should people be scared?
No.
No.
No. I think the first month, everyone was rightfully scared. Like my wife and I, we hold ourselves up this entire time. Month 2 came around, we were, still pretty vigilant about everything. And then I think toward the end of month 2, I was like, wait a minute, something's not right. I mean, you're not seeing the toll in the hospitals and around the country that we were led to believe that we would see. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like COVID is going to end up being categorized in the same light as the flu. Like, mm-hmm. Hey, this is COVID season. This is, be careful to just wash your hands more and, keep a little bit of distance between, you and everybody kind of, but life moves on kind of in the same way as it was prior to that. And that's how I feel. And I'm very optimistic in saying that, of course, but I could be very wrong as well. But sure. Yeah. Hey, I do have a question. Why aren't you guys open every day?
I wish that this question in a podcast could be one of our team members at a time, with someone asking them, why aren't you open every day? And just seeing the response of the amount of work that goes in, the sheer amount of work that goes into a single Saturday. Naturally, as you said, we started downtown at a farmer's market. And we grew from there, and we just left the farmer's market continuing this Saturday ritual. There's never been a time in Born and Bred, even before growing the team that we have now, that I haven't personally been in the bakery working like Tuesday through Saturday minimally.
Right.
For years now, I would say at least 4. We've worked Monday through Saturday only for Saturday. Yeah. And then the team and still worked Monday through Saturday up until this past year.
Whoa. You worked Monday through Saturday for the Saturday opening?
For Saturday opening. Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Never mind.
I may be lacking in one aspect of social media, and that is trying to educate a customer on what it looks like to make what we make. And so whether it's like the slow process of having 3 days for a croissant dough, on Monday we mix 44 what we call books of croissant dough, which is 44 different individual like doughs.
Yeah.
That could make 26 croissants or 20 cruffins or what you name it. It's the size. And so if someone's printing something in our office, if you hear
that's okay. Yeah.
A picture of you, it's someone else printing. Yeah. But so that process starts on Monday, and then we have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of mixing, and Thursday is our last day of laminating, which is the process of creating the layers. Mm-hmm. But then Friday we have to sheet them all. We don't make anything prior to Saturday. So you won't ever have something that's a day old at Born and Bred. It's us getting up now with COVID. We start our bakes at 10 p.m. the night before, so that we can begin proofing all of these things, which takes hours, and then baking them in rounds so that when someone picks up, it's the freshest we could possibly.
Okay. All right. Okay. I get it. I get it now. I get it. So
a long answer, but
no. So you guys literally make everything during the week so it comes out fresh for Saturday.
Correct.
There's nothing that, hey, this is a day old or none of that. Everything's made fresh for that day.
Yeah. So, we don't have anything canned. So all of our jams are being made. Every pastry cream is being made. Every frangipane, which is like a nut-based cream, is being made in-house. Mm-hmm. Every croissant dough. We pound our own butter blocks. We make our own butter at Born and Bred.
Right.
So there's so many elements that goes into a pastry. And so if you think about, I don't know, a single cruffin, you have the cruffin dough, and then you have the filling inside, which is made from scratch. Then you might have a glaze on top of it. Then you have to hand slice a blackberry. Then you have to pick off a piece of mint that looks beautiful, and you have to set it after you've dipped it. And there are just so many steps into and that's one. And we currently have like 35 items on a Saturday menu. So it's just wild.
Well, I'm glad you're doing it, because I would not be able to do that. Yeah. I would not be able to do that. Wow, that's tremendous. That is as artisan as you can possibly get it.
I hope so. I hope that we make the highest quality product, and that in general our team still enjoys their lives. I mean, I would say one big turning point for us with this season has been that we have really trimmed our team, and we have a very defined goal each week. Whereas before, I feel like when we were focused on growing Wednesdays and continuing to grow into another day and having Saturdays and in the customers inside of the bakery, there was a lot of noise in the bakery all the time. And as a business owner, I learned a lot of lessons that I like to think about in the form of I got an education or a diploma in X, Y, or Z. Someone's joining us.
No, tell them to come back. Sorry. No, yeah.
I got maybe a diploma in management skills, or I got a diploma in something. And so right now I feel like we're earning maybe a little bit more focus and a little bit more clarity in what we're doing as a team, rather than just coming in, working as hard as you can, it constantly being a blur. Our team is stronger through it. I feel like from a business standpoint, we're stronger because we've had some time to think about what we were doing prior. And not that I don't want to get back to the point that we were before, but maybe just a little bit more understanding and self-awareness, rather than just, this is what I'm supposed to do, so I'm going to keep doing it. This is what we're supposed to do. We have to open, and there's never like a have-to moment. And having time to really thin out and like cross-train our team it's been really powerful for us. We'll never be the same in a good way.
In a good way, yeah. Okay, let's get away from the bakery a bit.
Oh, okay.
You know, I have some preloaded questions, and they're fun questions to answer. However, a lot of times they segue into other things. So I'm going to ask you the first one that I ask all of my guests, and give me 1 second. Zoe, you have to grab that and go. I'm maybe sending my daughter to you for an apprenticeship. So the first question is, what do you want? What do you, Jen, want? Okay, and you can answer this in any direction you like. Normally, my guests will answer it in 2 ways. The first way being the heroic answer, the kumbaya answer, right? And then the second version of their answer would be the completely materialistic, like I need this in my life because I want it type answer.
Ooh, I should have watched a couple more podcasts to understand that I was going to get this question, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, off the top of my brain, like right now, in a very selfish way, but in a very necessary way, I want a vacation. I have not had one since prior to the holidays, and that's the busiest season of Born and Bread's entire year. So before Thanksgiving into Christmas, I have finally, after COVID, gotten 2 days off in a row. But most weeks I work 6 days a week. So I would like a vacation.
Yeah.
We can go in depth on what kind of vacation I want.
Where do you want to go?
I'd like to go to Spain. I'd also love to go to Australia. Iceland sounds great. Just a different culture.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love learning about other cultures. And I would love a vacation. I would love to learn how to be a better boss. And that might be the heroic answer. But I think in general, everything that I'm telling you comes, or that someone's going to tell you, is going to come from some sort of selfishness.
Sure.
And in being a better boss might mean that I'm capable of putting up boundaries that I'm not currently capable of putting up that I want to put up, I think.
You want to put up boundaries?
I think I need some boundaries as someone. I am a workaholic. I love working. But I think I find familiar, I think I'm best whenever I'm learning several things. And so I'm not good if it's the same day as familiar to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. So if every day I'm doing the same thing and every week I'm doing the same thing, I'm just working. I want to learn how to build something. I want to redo the garage with my dad. I want to learn why the plants that I'm planting are growing. I want to just constantly be learning something new. And so from a selfish way, I want to be a boss so I can grow the team. But I'm also challenged currently by being what I believe might be the best boss. And so any way that I can improve, I would want to. And so I want to be a better boss.
Okay.
What else do I want? I don't know. I don't know.
Those are good answers. Those are good answers. Yeah. You know, Spain is somewhere that I've been when I was like after college, backpacking through Europe. I was lucky enough to have that in my life, and I would totally go back to Spain in a heartbeat. Those people know how to party. They just stay up. They just stay up and eat and dance and drink, and you know, like I like it. I'd like that. Yeah. A vacation sounds awesome. Right about. Yeah. I mean, you're a grinder. I mean, you grind it out. That's your business, day in and day out, and you love to work. So to find people that are of similar vein, that's hard. And if they're not like that, it's difficult, isn't it?
Sure.
Right? Yeah. You know, you like your breaks. Like, what's a break? I don't know what a break is. Yeah.
I don't know what a break is.
Oh.
But everyone learns so differently. So just because I'm explaining it in this way, or I have this perception of a situation, or how I would personally manage a situation, or everyone thinks differently. And it could be as simple as the way that your mom or father raised you compared to the way that my mom and dad raised me. And so there's so many ways to achieve the result that we all want. And yeah, everyone's so different. Yeah.
Well, good. Okay, so here are the other batch of questions.
They're fun.
Guilty pleasures. You have a guilty pleasure that you can share with us?
I'm all about some Netflix and chill. I'm all about it's a guilty pleasure. Like while I'm doing it, I think there's definitely something I could be doing better. But there's this meme, and I came across it a few years ago, and it says my neck, my back, my Netflix, my snacks. And like, that's basically me. Do you know that song? The rap song?
Yes, I do know that song. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Netflix and chill. You like that? Okay. Yeah. What show have you binged last?
I'm currently on Outlander. I think that's what it's called. It's set in like the 1940s.
I haven't watched it, but I know of it. Yeah.
It's honestly, I think it feels very feminine forward. Okay. I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like a modern day Lifetime network kind of show. And I'm really digging it. There are sex scenes, so if you're not comfortable with watching things like that, if Game of Thrones made you uncomfortable, then
it's not for you. Game of Thrones made you uncomfortable. You don't want to watch that.
This is past it. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch Ozark?
Love. Jason Bateman's one of my favorites.
He's the best. Did you watch season 3?
Yeah.
Oh man. The girl, what's her name? The curly blonde hair. Jason's right hand woman.
Yeah.
In the casino. What's her name? Jeez.
Oh no, you can't throw a bunch of fun questions at me.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say she is the best. I love her so much. There's so many good actors in that. She's
married to a musician.
What's that?
I started looking her up. She's married to a musician.
Oh, is she now? Yeah.
I can't
remember her character's name either. It's driving me crazy now. Anyway, we'll get back to it. Okay, so guilty pleasures, Netflix and chill. Okay, if I slapped $1 million in your hand, cold hard cash, what would you go get for yourself?
It's hard. I'm not a super materialistic person.
Yeah.
I would probably save it.
Save it?
Yeah, I would probably save it. I would buy a pool because I can't convince myself to buy a pool. I don't know what I'm saving money for either sometimes. I really don't get it. Like I have to convince myself to purchase things, whereas my husband's like, come on, just buy it. And if I finally buy something for myself, it sits on my shelf for 2 weeks. And if I don't wear it or don't use it, I will return it. And I would say I return 85% of what I buy. So I'm really sorry to anyone out there that you've seen me in like the return line and you had to go through this little. I'm sorry. I really am. I'm terrible.
Why are you so difficult on yourself?
I don't know. I think like
you're being hard on yourself when you do that, right?
I do. Yeah. Don't get too personal right now. This is
I'm just saying, it's obvious.
Yeah, I'm pretty hard on myself.
Yeah.
I am very hard on myself, but
well, I mean, but then there comes the standards. The standards that you set forth in your products, which is evident.
Yes.
Right? So it's super tough on yourself.
Yeah. I think the balance there in when I said earlier to be a better boss is like someone who's been with me for 2.5 years is like, I just don't know if I'm ever going to do it good enough. And I think that's really difficult to hear because this individual makes me the most proud. Like she's got such an amazing character, and like integrity wise is almost the epitome of what you'd want in every team member that you would ever hire.
Really?
And I think that's the balance of, I have some things that I need to make sure I understand, like why is it like and why does it feel that way for her? So I want to figure out how to be a better boss in maybe those areas.
You can't, there's no way you can replicate yourself in the bakery.
Yeah, is
just
it true?
like there's no way. I
2020 was the time for aliens and replicating ourselves.
That's right. But that's not going to happen. I wish it could happen, because if that were the case, I'd have 5 different locations by now, and that's not. There's no. You could show someone the way, but it's, what is that? The lead the fish to lead the horse to water, right? But you can't make him drink or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's one of those things. Anyway,
it'd be a pretty dangerous world if there were 5 Jenns running around. To be honest, like I'm very kind, and I always mean well, and I'm so good with my heart, and no one can work as hard as I can.
Yeah.
I still have my flaws.
What would people be surprised to know about you that and otherwise just wouldn't be able to guess it?
Oh man. I don't know. That's a great question. I don't think that I'm full of too many surprises. But I don't think I am. I'm pretty open. I would say I'm one of.
So?
I do think I'm pretty open. I think in general people would say that I am born and bred. Like I do think we should all be naked. And I feel very strongly that the world would be better if we all didn't have clothes and there was nothing that you could have a facade about. It's just who you are naturally, and either something's going to sag or it's not, and something's going to be tight and it's not, and we're all super flawed, even our body. And so I do think if there weren't all of these changes that we could modify and make someone feel a certain way by the shirt that we have on, or the way that we do our hair, or if we wear makeup or not, it would just be a little bit more even. Whether
we're big or not, whether we're tall or not, whether we're fat or not, or
but I speak openly about that sort of thing. I speak openly about like inspecting my poo if I'm going to use the restroom. So like I'm a pretty open book. I had one team member tell me like, what did it look like, Jen? And I had used the restroom one early morning back when there were only like 5 of us.
Oh my! Did you ever take pictures of it?
No.
I know someone that did.
You have to draw
like text messages.
Can
like,
you imagine?
What in the world, man? Huh?
Yeah, front page on the ledger, like Born and Bread Bakehouse shows her poo to the world. It would be terrible. I do think I'm a pretty.
I think that might sink. I think that might tank Born and Bread if that were to happen.
I don't know. You never know. Maybe a surprise is how beautiful my poo is compared to most people. You don't know. Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
In croissant form, actually.
Jeez, stop.
So the surprise could be that so many people think that I'm not from here. And maybe it's not a surprise for you, but most people, whenever they say, "Where are you from?" They think that I'm from either the West Coast, or they think that I'm from another state in general, or that I grew up in. I've gotten South Africa. I've gotten.
You grew up here,
but I grew up in Arbondale, Florida.
Yeah.
Even so, like I'm from here. Maybe that's a surprise to some, but I didn't learn pastries from my Parisian mother or grandmother.
Well, I mean, at least you don't get the. You grew up here, right? Right? It's like, dude, we went to school together. Remember? Yeah.
Did you grow up here?
I did.
Wow.
Well, no, hold on. I say I grew up here because I moved here when I was 5.
Yeah, that's it.
So I grew up here. You know? Buddy of mine, Jason, he's like, we drank beer in the orange groves during school. So yeah, if we did that, yeah, we definitely grew up here. Yeah. So anyway, parting thoughts on what you're doing, where people can find you, and where you're headed with Born and Bread.
So we'll continue to do what we're doing now. I wish I could say that there was some plan right now that we had that we felt incredibly confident in, that in 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, next week, we are going to be reopening in any capacity inside of our dining room. And that decision for me cannot be made until I feel confident, and it seems as a whole that our community feels confident that it's safe to do so. And it would be at a disadvantage to not only our team, but to our customers who have grown really familiar with being outside. So our next step would be, when the time comes and we can reopen, that we are going to reopen. Someone's going to say hello again, but someone's going to, or that in some capacity, we're going to reopen on a Saturday only. And I do think that with the amount of people that have requested that we do not get rid of pre-orders, that we'll move forward with some sort of retail operation where people could still come into the bakery. And we're going to keep pre-orders, which is great. I would say from there, maybe opening again on a Wednesday night. I really miss that menu, and I miss the aspect of having people in here in the evening. If we don't reopen in that capacity, we will find another way to open Born and Bread on another day other than just Saturday. Long term, I can't really say. We take, in general, 1 month at a time, with always looking 2 years ahead. So I have some things in my mind that I'm hopeful for. I'm hopeful for a sister restaurant in town, something very similar, but very, very different in the vein of cafe, breakfast, lunch ness. But yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely not done. I'm not bored. I'm very fulfilled. I can't imagine doing anything else in my life. I can't imagine anything harder in my life. Yeah, I'm ready for this season to be over with, but then there's another part of me that wants to understand that I've gleaned every bit of what I could. And not just from my own experiences, but from talking to someone like you, or talking to someone like Chris MacArthur, who's the owner of Black and Brew, or any coffee shops, or there's just so much that we have to learn from one another. And I've enjoyed some downtime to be able to have some thoughts that maybe I needed to have regarding my own life and the boundaries that I feel I need to set. And I cannot wait for vacation. I don't know that it'll be Spain, but I do want a small getaway. Yeah. And I feel like, as much as it might be something that seems necessary to say, I'm so incredibly proud of the team that we have right now at Born and Bread. You just see so much care and so much concern, and they own what they're doing, and they love what they're doing, and they believe in what we're doing it for. And I think that's all I could really ask for at this time is something like that. I feel very fulfilled by what we're doing, and it could be very different.
I think it'll be different in a good way. I think there's going to be silver lining for all of us that are persevering and making that pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming on. It's been a long time coming.
I didn't get enough fucking words in. Not enough fucks. I never said fuck enough.
Good.
And
I'll have you on again, and we'll do it face to face, and we'll do it with drinks next time. There you go.
I would love that. Yeah. And if you're watching, don't feel bad. For Born and Bread, continue to support small businesses. I read an article the other day, 2 days ago. It was from Business Insider and a few other people that were doing research in small businesses, and there was a statistic that something like 9 out of 10 small, what do they call that, family-owned restaurants will be going out of business before the end of 2020. And so it is a huge for the industry we're in. It's hard to know how to stock and how much to provide and how many employees to keep on, and you're hopeful that it's going to be
Well,
over and that that pool will tire. So
I
anyway,
wouldn't put too much stock in that one. I really wouldn't. You know who owns a lot of that company? Business Insider. Jeff
yeah.
Bezos.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos is the founder and owner of Amazon.
Okay.
And he's the big box of big boxes. So yeah, I'd take that one with a grain of salt. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. Have an amazing week. If you're listening, I hope you have an amazing week. I look forward to talking to you soon.